I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews with Alex Melikhov, the CEO of Equilibrium. Alex, welcome back to the show, and it's great to have you back so soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Shane, Ashton, for having me here. And I'm definitely excited as well to get reconnected and to touch base on everything DeFi and Polkadot and Kusama.
Definitely. Equilibrium's done a lot since our last interview. It was not even a month ago, and you have way more updates on Genshiro and the launch as well. But I would love to kick it off for the viewers who didn't see the first interview with just a quick overview on Equilibrium's platform and how it fits into the DeFi ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. We are building Equilibrium on Polkadot. It's the first conglomerate of DeFi products, which is comprised of the comprehensive lending platform and the professional-grade decentralized exchange, which is cross-chain based on Audiobook. And in a nutshell, we are solving basically one of the main challenges for the current DeFi space. It's the fragmentation, not only the user experience, you know, that all DeFi is currently scattered across multiple DeFi protocols and platforms, but also the fragmentation of liquidity, because thanks to the underlying platform, which is Polkadot, we are interconnecting different blockchains, enabling users to utilize their assets based on various networks.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's a little bit scattered right now, and I do really like the platform that Equilibrium's putting together. And I know that the most recent focus now is on Genshiro, and that's where I want to focus this interview around is the discussion around Genshiro in the upcoming launch, which is part of the DeFi conglomerate of Equilibrium. Can you talk more about the primary purpose of Genshiro and how central it is to the Equilibrium ecosystem?
So maybe the right point to kick this off is to give a little bit more context on the Kusama network itself. Because maybe the viewers know that Polkadot is not the only network which is based on the substrate technology, but there is also the Kusama network, which was supposed to be a test network for Polkadot. However, eventually it obtained value, and currently its valuation is 1/10 of Polkadot, respectively around $4 billion, which is quite big valuation. And the thing is that Kusama is currently having its own community, and the Parity technology, the developer house, which is behind both Polkadot and Kusama, are also putting very much efforts into development of the technology. And actually, you guys know that there will be a very soon launch of Parachains, and Kusama will be the first network where Parachains will arrive very soon. And at Equilibrium, we have made a decision to step this path as well. So we decided to launch our own Parachain, which is called Genshiro. It will be interconnected with the Kusama network, expectedly very soon, because we'll be participating in the coming Parachain auctions, which are taking off next week. And in broad strokes, Genshiro is not just the replication of Equilibrium on Kusama. So the idea was to build up a little bit different setup, primarily from the perspective of its system parameters and the overall sort of risk which the system takes. So from this perspective, Genshiro will be more interesting to those traders who used to taking more risk in their operations, because the system parameters of Genshiro will be a little bit more experimental compared to Equilibrium. Also, the lineup of assets that will be added on Genshiro will be wider than the lineup of assets on Equilibrium, where we'll be very much selective in terms of assets that we'll be adding to the platform. So on Genshiro, there will be mostly all the sort of popular assets, specifically from Ethereum, added from the day one. And we think that it will be a good sort of DeFi platform which will inherit the experimental spirit of the Kusama network overall.
Mm-hmm. That's great to know, and thank you so much for that background on Kusama as well. There are a lot of people that are still trying to familiarize themselves with the DeFi ecosystem, and Polkadot with these parachains and parachain lease offerings, it can get quite technical, even for those that are starting to get into DeFi. And so from what I understood, correct me if I'm wrong, but as Equilibrium is to Polkadot, the Genshiro is to Kusama, where it's sort of running on the network, and they all do tie in together. But is that sort of correct?
Yes, in overall, it's definitely correct, and Equilibrium is basically plugged into Polkadot, and Genshiro is supposed to be connected with the Kusama network, and both parachains, I mean, respectively, Equilibrium and Genshiro, will bring certain value to the Polkadot community and to the Kusama community as well.
Mm-hmm. And I was reading that Genshiro is a canary network on Kusama, and I haven't familiarized myself with that term before. What does that specifically mean?
So it actually means that on the canary network you can test out particular things. So we are expecting to utilize Genshiro as a testing site for our further developments. So all kind of new products that we are expecting to develop in terms of our development roadmap, firstly will be rolled out on Genshiro and tested there. And if they will be proved as sustainable ones or meet certain demands, we will be deploying these products on Polkadot as well.
Mm-hmm. Great to know. And I was reading that you have a lot of newer features that you're looking at releasing on Genshiro first, and inherently there's a little bit more risk as it's more exploratory and it's launched there first. Can you talk about some of those DeFi features that you're looking to first test on Genshiro?
Of course. So first of all, we're expecting to have the lower collateralization requirements on Genshiro. They will be set at 100%, and it's kind of precedential because none of the current platforms in the DeFi space have so low level of collateralization requirements, and will be first of a kind from this perspective. So again, I also mentioned the lineup of assets which will be added on Genshiro. It will be a little bit more experimental compared to Equilibrium. So there will be mostly all popular ERC20 tokens added to Genshiro almost from the day one. Also, we are expecting to launch certain derivative products on Genshiro first. It will be some ETFs and some synthetic assets like stocks and bonds. So we will see how it will develop, and then again we'll be happy to develop kind of similar product line on Polkadot as well.
Mm-hmm. That's great to know, and it's interesting to see that 100% collateralization for loans. Normally, I believe it's a lot more over collateralized, and they're looking for extra funds to secure. Can you talk about the rationale behind that? Is it just more of an experimentation? And do you see this as an incentivization for early adopters to start experimenting and using the financial products on Genshiro by having lower collateralization?
So first of all, it might sound that setting that low level of collateralization might be a little bit risky for the overall system and its solvency. However, it's not the case for Genshiro and Equilibrium because we have a completely different system of debt management compared to other DeFi platforms. So, for example, we don't have auctioning in place when it comes to debt liquidations in case of some margin call events and stuff. We have established the bailout pool and respectively the bailout mechanics, which is securing the system and means that there is not only borrowers and lenders on the platform, but also bailsmen who are acting as insurers, and they're putting liquidity in advance to make system more sustainable. So from this perspective, we are not hedging the risk of slippage in case of liquidations, and we actually don't require that high over-collateralization as it's usually implemented in other DeFi platforms like we have on Ethereum and other protocols.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in terms of like rationality behind that and what's the particular use case, I think that there are a lot of market participants who are keen on leveraging their position quite heavily, and you know that the lower collateralization requirements the platform has, the more leverage you can get on your initial assets.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And you know, as Genshiro is launching soon with this Kusama slot, a lot of people are familiar with, you know, old school ICOs and IDOs, and the way that Polkadot and Kusama are doing it is a little bit different. And I know that you're also incorporating an NFT auction to help fund this slot. Can you talk more about what does it mean to fund the Kusama slot on Polkadot, and then more of the specifics on the auction?
Yeah, so maybe first of all, let's give a little bit background on what exactly the Parachain is and how projects become Parachains on both Kusama and Polkadot, right? So first of all, both networks, they are based on the substrate technology, which is initially the framework for building your own blockchain. Right, so on Polkadot and Kusama, you're not creating your applications in that sense, how it works on Ethereum, on other standalone blockchains, but you're creating your own blockchain, and you're efficiently coding not the smart contracts, but the runtime of this blockchain, which is completely different developer experience. And then when you have your own blockchain in place, you need to connect this blockchain with one of the relay chains, whether it will be Polkadot or Kusama. And both of these networks, they have limited capacity for connecting parachains, respectively limited number of parachain slots. So on both networks, the number of parachain slots is 100. Mm-hmm. And obviously, it's a kind of limited resource, right? And you need to compete for being one of networks or one of blockchains connected with either Kusama or Polkadot. So the guys actually came up with a very interesting model, which is the Parachain auctions. And in case if you want to become the Parachain on one of these networks, you need to stake quite substantial amounts of funds, either Kusama tokens or Polkadot tokens, to win the auction. So for both networks, there are different estimations for this amount of tokens that we need to stake. On Kusama, as per our estimation, it's around 100,000 KSMs. Which is currently quite substantial amounts of money. It's almost $40 million, or even a little bit more, right? And obviously, not average projects doesn't have that much funds that the project can actually just simply stake and get frozen into the network, staking for its Parachain slot. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, there is a solution to that, and the solution is the Parachain lease offering. So it's the mechanics which is incentivizing ecosystem participants to stake their either Kusamas or DOT tokens for particular Parachain projects, for their favorite projects, and to support through that the projects, and basically to provide with a sufficient amount of funds to win the slot on the auction. Obviously, we are also taking this approach, and in Genshiro, we're rolling out the comprehensive strategy, respectively this Parachain lease offering strategy to obtain the slot. So Parachain auctions on Kusama, they're kicking off next week. and we are getting prepared for that. So the campaign will be kicking off very soon, and in this sense, we will be distributing 20% of Genshiro token supply to those who will be staking their Kusamas for our Parachain slot. So obviously, we're not giving the financial advice here and investment advice as well, right? Because efficiently, it's not an investment. When you're staking Kusamas for Genshiro or maybe some other Kusama-based projects, you efficiently not investing in this project, right? Because you're keeping up with your Kusamas. In Genshiro, we are offering quite substantial sort of drop of Genshiro tokens to those who will be staking Kusamas for our Parachain slots, up to 1,500 Genshiro tokens per one Kusama. And actually, there will be also a comprehensive bonus structure. So eventually, we can get up to 40% bonus on this number of tokens. So eventually, you can get over 2,000 Genshiros per one Kusama token that you stake.
Wow, that's
yeah.
great. Keep going. This is thank you so much for the information on the background on the Parachain lease offerings, and I think that brings a lot of light into the new infrastructure and the way that you're able to create these Parachains on Polkadot, because it is quite technical and different than an Ethereum launch.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's quite interesting how things are working out. So respectively, with regards to our Parachain lease offering, we do have several mechanics on the table. So it's not just only this Parachain lease offering or Crowdloan when you're staking Kusamas and receive our tokens in exchange in the course of the Parachain lease period, which will be, by the way, 48 weeks, 336 days, almost 1 year. And besides that, we have worked out the mechanics, which is really unique, and no one takes this approach. So it's actually the auction of NFTs. So we, if you look at the website of Genshiro, it's genshiro.io, you will find a lot of illustrations there. So it's kind of outlining the experimental spirit of Genshiro. And we decided to create the collection of artwork, which is comprised of 7 awesome cats. Each of these cats actually is pertaining to particular cryptocurrency. So we do have 7 cryptocurrencies in place, respectively, Bitcoin, Ethereum cats, BNB cats, Polkadot cats, Kusama cats, Equilibrium cats, and Genshiro cats. So all these cats, they will be they're represented with the NFT token, and the collection of these cats will be auctioned out through the Rarible platform on Ethereum. And what's special about these cats that each of these cats has certain its own price feed, which is provided by Chainlink, and this is a kind of very interesting use case for Chainlink as well. So the idea that there is certain thresholds for price of each of these cryptocurrencies, and when the price of particular cryptocurrency hits a certain threshold, the cat is turning into its gold version. So, for example, the Bitcoin cat will turn into the gold Bitcoin cat when Bitcoin will hit $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, and the idea that through these auctions we are expecting to raise some funds, which will be used to fund our operations, primarily our Kusama slots via in the auctions.
This is really, really interesting, Alex. I'm really excited to see the launch of these cats. It's really unique, and I like that they could turn into gold and NFT cats. I'm sure that would increase in value down the road when these cryptocurrencies do increase. So that's really interesting. For the viewers that are looking to find out more about the Kusama Crowdloan campaign, the auction that's set for next week, what's the best way for them to learn more and to take action?
You guys need to visit our website. It's Genshiro, like it's on my T-shirt, genshiro.io, and you actually find all the information related to our NFT token auction and Parachain Liz offering as well. So the GETS auction will kick off on June 16th on June 15th, I'm sorry, on the Rarible platform on Ethereum. And there will be other events which are also coming over next week. You will also find all the information on our website.
Sounds great, Alex. I will leave those links in the description box below as well. All the best with the upcoming auction and the Crowdloan campaign. I'm really excited to see Genshiro grow beyond this, because it sounds like there's a lot of potential here that's ready to be unleashed. So all the best with that, and let's follow up in the near future.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Ashton, for having me here, and till soon.